It was towards the end of my 8th grade year that I moved to Justice Sonia Sotomayor housing projects. I was forced to take the train to and from school every day. I blasted music every morning so I felt energized and happy to finish the rest of the school year. That changed once I stepped on that train, listening to loud conversations, babies screaming and crying, and people singing and dancing. As soon as I got home, I said, "Dad, I need headphones and an iPod ASAP." One thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain. Bob Marley. Everyone at some point in their lives have gravitated towards music in one way or another, whether it be for relaxation or to cheer them up. So the question is, does music make us happy? Music can maybe take away the pain. However, it can also contribute to it. There was a study called Trying to Be Happier Really Can Work, 2 experimental studies published in the Journal of Positive Psychology. Researchers conducted 2 experiments to show how the participants' short-term moods and overall happiness improved by listening to a variety of music. In the first study, they listened to Aaron Copland for 2 weeks, while in the second, they listened to upbeat music for 2 weeks. The results explained when the participators who listened to the non-specific, upbeat music, brains were scanned, then they received a rush of the feel-good neurotransmitter dopamine near the striatum, the brain's pleasure center. According to Dr. Yana Ferguson, the study's head researcher, we found that people were successful at raising their positive mood as long as the music they listened to was happy and upbeat.
Well, when I was younger, I used to listen to a lot of rock and alternative music, and that made me very happy because I connected to it emotionally. And lately, I've been listening to a lot of jazz music, and the thing that makes me happiest about that is really studying it and being challenged musically and growing with my skill set in it and then being able to do it. So it's a nice intellectual and fun challenge, and it's been great to play. Sometimes when I listen to music, I like it because when I'm listening to a songwriter who I really like, I feel like there's somebody else in the world that gets it, who has had that same exact emotion that I've had, and that connects. And so they're expressing this thing that sometimes I feel like, oh, I've only felt that. But then you hear somebody play it and you're like, oh, they felt it too. Uninspired, I guess would be the word. Music that's uninspired, that just kind of doesn't have a lot of excitement or passion in it, but it's sort of maybe something that just feels a little thrown together, contrived, or not really thought through.
According to Psychology Today, there was another experiment conducted where researchers surveyed 229 students between 17 and 21 years old in Canada regarding their reasons behind listening to music. The researchers wanted to know if they listened to music because of self-determination like pleasure or because of external factors like trying to fit in with a social group. According to Jeanette Bicknell, PhD in Why Music Moves Us, adolescents are a particularly interesting group to study on these questions because they tend to spend a lot of time listening to music. The results of this experiment were that self-determined motivation for listening to music was connected to global happiness and subjective well-being. The amount of time the students spent listening to music wasn't as important as the motivation.
Music makes me very happy because ever since I was 13, I've always watched MTV on television. So during that time, which was 2001, 2002, there were a lot of music videos. And my mom, during the summer, she would always play those music videos. And I would sit next to her and I would watch the video and listen to the song. And I would just enjoy it for what it is. I didn't really think about it as much. So as far as the music, the sound is what interests me all the time. And over time, I grew to appreciate it more. I can tell you primarily hip hop, rock, pop, rarely country, songs that just pop up in my head that I enjoy. But really, any music that sounds good to me, I like it from any genre. So, I listen to music not because of how I'm feeling. I listen to music so I can feel differently. So if one day I'm feeling kind of down a little bit, I might listen to music to bring my spirit up, or I might listen to music to get more energetic, just so it can get me through the day. I would say screamo I don't know. It's like
Alternative.
alternative music. Music that's just a lot of noise. I think it's very unpleasant, but I understand the art of it, but it wouldn't make me happy. It's like when I make a song or if I make a beat or whatever, I make it based off of how I'm feeling, and then once it's all out there, it's saved, it's done, and I can kind of throw it away. So if one day something had happened to me, or if I failed a test or anything like that, I'll make a beat, I'll make a song, and all those feelings and emotions will be put into that song, and I can save it and put it away, and then I'll feel better that day. Or if I feel really accomplished, I feel really good, then I'll put it out on a song like that, and I'll show it to the world. It's that good. So music makes me feel like I can put out my emotions out there. So.
According to Discovery News, in a third and final experiment by Valerie Salampour, a neuroscientist at McGill University in Montreal, linked music-induced pleasure with a surge in intense emotional arousal like changes in heart rate, pulse, and breathing rate. Valerie recruited 8 music lovers and played samples of music that made them have chills of pleasure, like classical, jazz, or Led Zeppelin and Dave Matthews Band. After 15 minutes of listening, the scientists injected the participants with a radioactive substance that binds to dopamine receptors. The scientists used a PET scanner to see if people's brains released large amounts of dopamine when they listened to music that gave them chills. When the same people listened to less moving music the next day, their dopamine receptors remained wide open. The findings of this experiment suggest that, like sex and drugs, music may be mildly addictive, according to David Huron, a music cognition researcher at Ohio State University. To answer my question, does music make us happy? I can honestly say that it depends on the type of music that you decide to listen to. As Dr. Yana Ferguson stated, your positive mood is raised when you listen to upbeat music, so don't expect to be happy listening to depressing music. Now, I shall leave you with this quote. I'm wishing he could see that music lives, forever, that it's stronger than death, stronger than time, and that its strength holds you together when nothing else can. Jennifer Donnelly.